Good morning. I hope you can hear me today. So I am on my computer instead of my phone today. So hopefully this works well. I kind of like the bigger screen for me to look at, and I can see the comments a little bit more. So good morning. So today is Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? The 29th of March. And today I'm talking about black yarn. Yay! So I am working on the shrug for Maureen. Hi, Maureen. As you guys know from one of my previous 5-minute podcasts. Anyway, well, again, I start several times before I actually get moving on it. So I was playing around with the swatch last night with the black yarn and realized that the gorgeous stitch pattern that I chose as I was swatching for the second time, because it's a process. I just, the black yarn makes the stitch pattern just like completely disappear. Like, so you can't even, like, what's the point of having a great stitch pattern? Good morning, Brian. What's the point of having a great stitch pattern if it kind of blends together in terms of detail? Because black yarn is really hard to look at, and there you just don't get the depth of shadow. So I have decided for the shrug for Maureen to do a raglan top down construction, and I'm working on the stitch pattern, and I'm going to simplify the stitch pattern a little bit and then make the red detail with a brick red burgundy detail a little bit more intricate when it comes to that. So what are your thoughts on black yarn? So there's some fun like memes or whatever you call them out there about, like, if you like someone, you'll crochet for them, but if you love someone, you use black yarn because it's just harder. So last night, as I was working, it was pretty late, late-ish, 8 p.m. or so after I got done with work, and was doing the swatching. And to compensate for the difficult black yarn, I had white on my lap. So I had white paper because that's where I was taking my notes. But generally, I would put like a white pillowcase on my lap, and so that I would have the dark yarn on top of it to create that contrast. And of course, obviously, great lighting is important if you're using any yarn at all, but especially a dark yarn like a black or a navy, or like a really just deep green or something. So, but navy and black especially need great lighting. So have you guys ever noticed how very, very rarely you see black yarn in magazines and books? And it's because it just doesn't photograph super well. So when I was the editor of Crochet magazine, it's like, oh, I would see, proposals come in, and they would be gorgeous, especially when they would send an actual physical swatch and to be considered. And black yarn or navy yarn is really gorgeous, but at the same time, it's really, really hard to photograph and give it like depth so that the stitch pattern really pops and you can see the stitch pattern. And for me, one of the things I love the most about crochet is seeing the stitches. Like, I love seeing great stitch definition. So great stitch definition means smooth yarn, light to medium colors, so that you can, and enough big enough stitches, like, so not stitches that are super bound together, but big enough stitches that you can actually see the stitches, so that you could look at the fabric and be able to say, oh, there's a double crochet, and there's a treble crochet, and there's a cluster. If you can see the stitches just by looking at it, then that's kind of what I mean by great stitch definition. By default, then, that means my favorite yarns are not the fuzzy furry ones, because the stitch pattern completely gets lost and you don't even see the construction, which is, like, why I would crochet rather than knit or weave, like because I like the look of crocheted stitches. Anyway, so in magazines, you don't usually find black or navy, and also red. Um, I remember our cover artist, Nick, our designer, who would be in charge of the cover. Um, he would, even if a project was really fantastic, if it is in red, he's like, yeah, it's really, 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 really rough to get the right shade of red in ink to print that matches the yarn. And then the photos may not match exactly the cover versus the inside. So if we had a red project, it pretty much was guaranteed that no matter how fantastic it was not going to be on the cover. So as a designer, I learned some tricks about if I wanted to be on the cover, then I needed to certain things because certain things would get me disqualified from the cover, black yarn being one of them. Now, there is an exception. I know I'm over 5 minutes. I got to go, but there is an exception. My red Saturday beret, which is kind of a dark claret red, not this purpley red, but a darker red, is actually on the cover of Brett Barra's book. And I can't remember the name of it now. It was published by Interweave, Brett Barra, and it was accessories or something. Gosh, I'm so embarrassed that I can't remember, but it was the Saturday beret. So if you are on Ravelry, if you search Saturday beret, you'll see what I'm saying. So it is a dark red yarn, and it did make the cover, but it was a super close up because it was a hat, and so it did photograph well. But anyway, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. It's hump day, and I hope that you have a relaxing and valuable use of your day. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.